Hey, welcome back to What to Know Before the Show. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about pole and drape. Now, pole and drape is the backdrop, similar to this, that you're going to have in your workshop space. It makes a nice neutral background to your workshop space behind your stage, so when your participants are sitting in their seats, they basically just see a nice clean wall behind them. The issues you can have without using pole and drape is that you have a busy wall behind you. There could be windows where people are looking outside and seeing traffic happening, and they're thinking, hey, you know, I'd rather be out in the sunshine than your workshop. There could be exit doors there. There could be clutter on the walls. Having pole and drape is a great way to create a really neutral backdrop, and pretty good idea to have with your workshop space. So I'm going to send you to the warehouse right now, and I'm going to show you how to set up pole and drape real quick. So, we got ourselves a really ugly wall here, and what we're going to do right now with some pole and drape is we're going to make it a very neutral space to look at from your audience point of view. So what you want to start with is you want to start with a couple floor plates like this. They're very heavy, so that will keep the pole and drape from falling over. It's a pretty easy fix. You know, if you're the workshop guy, you can probably have someone do this for you. I'm going to show you really quickly how to put this together, so if you're ever stuck to do it yourself, you can do it. Alright, so I'm going to put up one piece of pole and drape right now to speed things up. So I've got one base plate there, another one right here. Second thing we want to do is we want to hook our pole on the base over there, at that end. And on this end, you want to pull it out till you hear that one click. If you do a second click, what ends up happening is that your pole and drape can sag in the middle. So one is kind of the ideal number. If you have to do two, that's fine too. So we've measured it out. We know that this base plate needs to be as far away from that base plate as that much to have one sheet of drape on there. So next we're going to take that off. We're going to grab an up pull. Now the up pulls are set to retract and extend. It's a simple thing where you pull the drape, you pull up, you pull it back like that, and it clicks in place. So we're next going to put those in place, like so. And our second one, like so. And now we're ready for our drape. Now what I recommend is using black drape. Black drape, in my opinion, is the best one to use, because if someone else has been using your drape ahead of you, you don't have to worry about stains being on the drape, depending on what is happening on their stage. So black is a great neutral color. If you're renting this drape, borrowing it from the hotel, you don't have to worry about stains and things like that showing up. So, first thing you're going to do is you're going to feed the drape on, like so. Get it all the way on there, and then you can hook it on your posts. There's one. Almost there. So close. Feel it. Get real close. There we go. All right. Now we've got our posts almost hooked up. There we go. Now next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you put your drape over the top of the post, so that when you finally set it up, you're not going to have this ugly piece of metal sticking out of the top. Pull that over to our other side. Put that over the top. Now, a lot of mistakes people make is when they set up their drape is that they stretch it all the way across, they put their poles all the way up, and then they realize that there's straight bits here, wrinkles over there. So what you want to do is you want to do that all first before you raise your drape up. And what you want to do too is you want to make sure that it's bunched up like this. There's a couple of reasons for that. So that's uniform all the way across, but also when you have your stage lights hit it, you're not going to get these different shadows and things like that. It's going to be very uniform. The pleats are actually going to cut down on the amount of shadows that you have on your drape. So now we got that. Got some wrinkles in it. Looks good. We're going to raise the poles up. So you want to start with the bottom, the top one first. Raise that up, like so.
Go to the other side. Raise that one up like so. Straighten your drape out a little bit at the bottom. There we go. Wow, you can't even see that ugly ball of tape behind there now. So, that's basically your drape gone up pretty much as high as you need it for this setup. These poles will take you up pretty high. So you want to start with the top pole first, get that up as high as you can get it. Then the second extended pole, work on that one and gets it all the way up the top. The last thing you want to remember is don't push your pole all the way up so it's touching the ceiling. Because to take these poles down, you need a little give so you can push it up. So if you push it all the way up to the ceiling, you're not going to be able to push the pole up to actually bring it back down. So to do this one, you lift it up a little bit, you push in the little teeth there, and it slides down like so. So here's a couple suggestions I've got when you're ordering your pole and drape, when you're setting up your pole and drape. Say this is your event room, and here's your stage. That's your stage. So when you're measuring out your pole and drape, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to check with the hotel, check with the community center, the convention room, or whatever, and find the length or the size of this back wall. So say this back wall is 40 feet. Okay, you're going to know that's 40 feet. Good number to know, because then when you're ordering your drape, you can order enough accordingly. So when you have that number, what you want to do, like to really keep your stage, it's all going to come down to the size of the stage that you choose, depending on how big your room is and how you lay your seating out. So check out the video on putting your stage together. But what I recommend is not just going to, so say this is your drape, I recommend not just going to the edge of your stage. What that does is it actually just kind of creates your stage looking like a big box. So when you're measuring out, go to at least 5 feet past your stage on each side. That's going to give your stage a really good focal point and give you enough room on each side that it kind of just doesn't make your stage look like a big box. So visually speaking, it kind of makes your stage look a lot nicer. So go at least 5 feet to each side. But if you want to have like a longer span to the other side, don't go right over to the edge of the wall. So wall to wall. Because you may need to be able to put some stuff back here in storage, or you've got yourself a little green room set up there, and you don't want to be fiddling with the drape too much to get behind there. So leave a space on each side of your wall there. 3 feet is a good number. 3 or 4 feet gives you enough room that you can kind of get back there if you need to, but it doesn't go all the way to the wall. And when you have it all set up, what you can do is create a nice little swoop look in it. So don't have your drape set up straight. So what I do when I set it up is I put my end pole, I pull it out a little bit so that the ends kind of curve a little bit. Now you don't have to go too far, like a foot further ahead on each side will give you this nice little swoopy effect when you have your drape set up. So it almost looks like it's hugging your stage. It's giving your front of your room a nice little bowl shape or edge shape instead of just being a straight square across. So kind of pulling those back poles or those end poles a little bit, like a foot. It's going to give your backdrop a nice little kind of bowl shape, a little edge. Take the rough edge off a little bit. So great idea to do that. So when you're figure out how big of a stage you're going to need, and that's really going to come down to how many participants you have in your room, how you're doing your seat layout. And then go at least 5 feet on each side of your stage. If you want to go all the way to the end of the wall, have a little space on each side, 3 feet or so on each side. That's going to allow you to be able to get through the drape without having to pull on the drape to do that, which kind of can misshapen how the drape hangs. And pull your end poles in a little bit. So the end up poles, pull them in a little bit, and it's going to give it a nice little kind of swoopy arc a little bit to your backdrop. So next, when you know the length of your back wall, you're going to need to know how many pieces of drape you're going to need to cover that. So a piece of drape, when it's stretched tight, is 10 feet. So you want to leave some wrinkles in it, kind of like what I've got back here. You want to leave some wrinkles. That's going to really take off the shadows from you when you're speaking on stage, when the stage lights hit it. So you want to have some of those kind of creases in it. So measure for 8 feet. So that's going to give you enough kind of wave in your drape that you're going to be able to put those kind of creases in it. So when you do your measurements, say your back wall is 40 feet, and you're going to do 5 feet out from each side, so that's going to put you down to 30 feet. And so you now know your measurement is 30 feet, and so then all you do is you take 30 feet and you divide it by 8, and that's going to give you how many pieces of drape you're going to need to cover that length. So if my math is correct, 30 divided by 8 is 3.75, so we're going to round up to 4 pieces of drape. We're going to need 4 pieces of drape, so 4 drape. And so we need to have 2 pieces per side. So that means our center pole is going to be right in the middle of our stage, and we're going to do 1 piece of drape, put in another up pole, and another piece of drape, and put up another up pole. So we know that, we're going to have 2 pieces of drape on each side. We're going to have a general idea of where the up poles are going to go and how to lay our drape out. So there's the down and dirty way of setting up pole and drape. Super easy thing to do, but creates a really great backdrop to your stage. As I said before, it's a great way to clean up the back of your behind your stage, so when your participants are sitting in their seats, they see a really simple backdrop. You can also add some uplights to it to add something pretty classy to it. Another thing you can do with pole and drape is actually have it set out from the wall. If you have your pole and drape set out from the wall, you've got extra storage space back there. And also, as a workshop leader, you could create a little green room back there where you could set up a chair and some snacks, where you could just go behind the drape without actually leaving the room and have a little place where you can sit and relax, catch your breath, have some water or tea, and sit back there and relax. Now, another thing about pole and drape is that if you're renting it, it often is very expensive. So you want to check in with your vendor on who you're renting it from and see what they're going to charge for this pole and drape. It can be very pricey. Also, when you're negotiating your event room, it's a great thing if the hotel has it to see if they would be willing to throw that in for free. It's going to save you some money in the long run. So having pole and drape as a backdrop, really good idea. And that's what to know before the show.